Hey guys, it's me, the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and welcome to How's That? By now, you know what the series is all about. Well, last episode was dedicated to possibly one of the greatest cricket icons the world has ever seen, Sachin Tendulkar, and the recipe was vada pav. Well, today's recipe is also very unique and it's dedicated to another cricketing icon, the captain of the Indian cricket team, possibly one of the fittest on the field. You've guessed it right. Well, thumbnail to dekh ke aaye honge, hai ki nahi? Let's head to the kitchen and begin Chole Bhature. And it's dedicated to... Let's hear it in the kitchen. I'm going to break this recipe into two parts. The first one, of course, is bhature because that needs resting. The first ingredient that goes in a bowl is refined flour. Well, Virat Kohli, like I said earlier, is possibly one of the fittest on the field. But if you see his earlier days, he was quite a golu-molu. And I don't really blame him. I blame the Delhi food for something like this. But over the years, he's made some significant changes in his lifestyle. He is now lean, he's agile, which is, I think, a requirement of being on the field. I've added salt to this recipe. And to give this a little bit of a standing, to give this a little bit of a holding, we need to add in semolina or rava. To this, to give it a little bit of a leavening, I'm going to add in baking powder. Just ensure that you break the lumps. To give it flavor, I'm going to add in powdered sugar. We need to mix all of this well together. And then we need to add in the rest of the ingredients. Well, I know for a fact that Virat Kohli ate Chole Bhature after a gap of 3.5 years. Well, this is the kind of resilience and willpower that very few of us have. A little bit of splurge here and there is okay, especially when it comes to a loaded, lethal recipe like Chole Bhature. Go easy, go slow, but make it once in a while. I've added curd in this recipe now. You need to break all the lumps, ensure that the little bits of curd get mixed in the flour very well. And then we make a medium soft dough with water at room temperature. Do not add all the water together because you need to understand the refined flour, which is very important and which of course will come with practice. But for now, go slow. I also want to add in 1 tablespoon of refined oil. Well, this will ensure that the dough becomes nice and pliable and also gets in the elasticity that we're looking at. The dough is kneaded and ready. And now this needs rest. Of course, under a damp cloth. An hour at room temperature is just perfect. Let's move on to the next thing, and that is making the chole. For the chole, we need a deep pan, and I'm going to begin with a combination of oil and ghee. Well, as I mentioned, Virat Kohli is from Delhi, and I've also heard that his favorite Chole Bhature place in Delhi is actually at Rajshri Garden. I've stayed in Delhi for 2 years. I was studying there, and I completely believe the fact that the best Chole Bhature in India is undoubtedly in Delhi. While the ghee is heating up, let's quickly chop an onion. The ghee has heated up. And onions are also cut and ready. Let's add this. You'll notice that this is possibly one of the quickest ways of making chole. Oil heating up, onion going in. Allow this to saute on high flame with just a little bit of salt so that it begins its process of caramelizing. And while this is happening, we'll make a powder and then convert that into a paste. I'll show you how. Let's make the entire spice mix in a blender. And with this spice mix, you do not need to add in any extra chole masala because all of this combines and becomes chole masala. The first ingredient that goes in is red chili powder. To this, I'm adding in garam masala powder, which is your Punjabi homemade garam masala. To this, I'm going to add in fennel seeds, untoasted, coriander seeds untoasted, cumin seeds untoasted again. Along with this, I'm going to add in two different types of khatai or souring ingredients. The first one is seeds of pomegranate, which are dried. Now this one is actually your pomegranate kernels, which are sun-dried. So this will give you a little bit of sweetness, but a lot of prominent sourness. To this, I'm also adding in amchur. This will accentuate the sourness, which is very important in something like chole. Let's grind this. This will of course get ground a little coarse, but I'm going to smoothen this out and make it into a paste later. So let's grind this first. Once it grinds almost into a coarse powder, we're going to add in chopped tomatoes, and this will make it pasty. Our chole masala is beautifully ground and ready. And if you see this, the onions have also wonderfully caramelized. Time to add in crushed ginger, garlic and green chilies. We need to stir fry this on high flame till the raw flavor goes away. And once that happens, I'm going to add in the chole mix, which is the paste that we just made. Like I said, this is possibly one of the quickest ways of making chole, and there's no whole garam masala because the quantity of powdered garam masala is enough for this. Let's mix this and allow this to cook for somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes on medium to low flame till the oil starts releasing the sides of the pan. Our masala is cooked and ready. Time to add in the pre-cooked chole. Now chole of course can be cooked in various ways. You can steam cook it or you can also pressure cook this. Well, generally you add in a piece of amla or you add in a tea bag to bring that nice color to the chole. I like it just like that. Well, these are 3/4 cooked. So this will take at least another 15-20 minutes on low to medium flame to get cooked. I'm also adding in some water. Give it one more stir. Ensure that the masala gets nicely mixed with the chole. You need to cover this and cook it for 15 minutes. While this is cooking, time for a strategic timeout. It's a chota sa segment. Well, it was Virat Kohli's dream to meet Sachin Tendulkar. There came that one day where they came face to face. The teammates actually scared Virat and said, whenever you meet Sachin, it's a team tradition. You have to go and touch his feet. Virat did the same thing. He shook hands and then he touched his feet. Sachin got very embarrassed. He said, "Bhai, ye kya kar raha hai?" So he said, "Nahi, sabne bola, this is a tradition. You have to touch his feet." So he said, "No, they're just pulling your leg." And there was a ball of laughter. I thought I'll share this funny anecdote with you. On that note, let's head to the kitchen and check Chole Bhature. The chole is getting cooked. Let's continue making the bhatura. One quick need once again. And that is literally to bring the bhature dough back to life. You want to divide this into lemon-sized balls. We need to keep these covered, again under a damp cloth, leaving one because we need to start making the bhaturas. Well, the next step is also to move this so that this can continue cooking. And I'm going to bring the oil on this burner. Let's begin with shaping the bhaturas, which is absolutely simple because it requires the use of oil. And oil ensures that the bhatura literally slides wonderfully well, and you'll see how. Once the oil has heated well, the bhatura goes straight in oil. Once the bhatura rises on top, we need to splash some oil like so that it puffs up and rises. Once you flip this, you're supposed to press this in oil like so that it gets a wonderful color. Similarly, let's start making some more bhaturas. The bhaturas are done and ready. Let's get back to the chole. Well, I personally like mashing the chole a little so that it also releases the starch, becomes naturally thickened, and the taste and flavor of the Kabuli chana literally releases in this gravy, if I may call this. One final mix and a chole is done and ready. Well, what I personally like about Virat Kohli is his batting ability and also the fact that he's the captain of the Indian cricket team. In the comment section, let me know what you like about Virat. Let's begin serving. The garnish of this is as simple as julienned ginger. And finally, this is incomplete without nicely puffed up bhaturas. Well, with this, your chole and bhature done and ready. The smell of chole bhature takes me back to Delhi. I've got some wonderful memories about Delhi and its food. This recipe is specially dedicated to one of the greatest cricketers the world has ever seen, Virat Kohli. If you've liked this recipe, try it because anybody can cook with Rajshri Food, and see what story the Bombay chef brings to you in the next episode of How's That? Every Wednesday. I'm going to smoothen this out and make it into a paste later. So let's grind this first. Chalu kar rahe. Of resilience and willpower that very few of us have. So a little bit of slurred. Slurge. Tu suna? If you've liked this recipe, try it because anybody can cook with Rajshri Food, and see what story the Bombay chef brings to you every Wednesday.
In the next episode.
Shona.
How's that?
Chalo, once more.
Continue rolling.